Good afternoon, and I'm Slate Marine. I'm here at Bass Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation here in Dublin, Georgia, here to present my project presentation for my internship that I have completed over the course of this summer. So to start off with, do a little background of Bass Rehab. It was first started back in 1965 and has been family owned ever since then. This was a place where someone could seek one-on-one professional help for their health care, whether it be something simple as a sprained ankle or something serious as a post-surgery rehabilitation. They use a combination of intervention movements and treatments. They can be both passive and active movements. These help the patients recover from injury or surgery, increase their range of mobility, and improve one's quality of life. They engage with all ages, races, and different backgrounds of people. Work with the older population mostly in the case of falls or surgeries like total knee replacements or hip replacements, or just to regain mobility and comfortability to walk. They also deal with athletes during sports seasons, for example, West Lawrence High School, Dublin High School, and so forth. That's just to provide athletic training that are related to those sports. So my planning for the resource manual, my objectives for it was to teach patients about the certain machines and equipment that we have here at Bass and what they are used for. I wanted to provide them with alternatives as well so they can continue at-home therapy to maintain their physical health. This resource manual was also to provide patients and the staff of Bass Rehab with a patient resource manual of the main equipment and machines we use for therapy treatments here at Bass. I also wanted this to exist as an advertisement opportunity to show what Bass has to offer for either its future patients or its current patients now, and to help patients become more familiar with what activities they may engage in whenever they come see us at Bass. The purpose of this was also to allow the patients to gain a certain knowledge of the equipment and exercises, so they would become more comfortable with doing it whenever they come and see us. Now, some strategies for my resource manual. Asked Ms. Whitney for extra hands-on training, so I personally could become more familiar with the machines. I researched on my own about these machines after hours, so I could become familiar with the backgrounds of the machines. I also asked patients what they wanted to know the most about, whether it be a certain exercise, certain stretches, while they were using that machine. And I shadowed Mr. Chuck and Ms. Whitney during a lot of new patient evaluations, and this helped me learn how to assess someone and how to start them off with the correct therapy procedures. Now, how did I prepare to develop this resource manual? I guided patients through exercises and stretches. I assisted them in and out or on and off certain equipment. This was to practice and memorize the controls of them so I could perform the task alone. This gave me an opportunity to teach and lead the patients through their exercises, show them the correct way to exercise, as well as to stretch how they're supposed to be done. I took well-developed pictures and created them into a PowerPoint slide in a presentation to showcase these equipment. Now, an evaluation of how this went, received great feedback from my coworkers and positive reinforcement for certain information to provide on the manual. One coworker also mentioned that I should show this to Mr. Randy here at Bass Rehab because he may be interested in using it for future use. This is a little quote that I heard from one of my patients. It says, "You have really helped me on my journey and inspired me to join the gym." This quote was from one of my patients who I personally worked with throughout my entire internship. During each session, he always reminded me of how the exercises and stretches I had provided have improved his health tremendously. Just a little background, this patient that I worked with came in, started out in a wheelchair, and he is now walking out with a cane. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, my resource manual. So what exactly did I mean by a patient resource manual? I wanted to create a resource manual that with actual pictures of our equipment here in Bass Rehab. And along with the pictures, I wanted to provide details to inform the current or future patients of what there is to offer here. The resource manual provides what the machine or equipment is, what it does for the patient, how it works, what muscle groups it may work, and what kind of alternatives, if applicable, for. I provided a few slides of my actual resource manual here, of the unique machines that we use on a daily basis at BASS, along with the detailed information for our patients. So without further ado, here's some of the cool equipment we use here. The first one is the Ultra G treadmill. It's a zero gravity treadmill, as some would say, walking on the moon. What it does is air lifts the patient and allows them to walk at a certain percentage of their body weight. The treadmill starts by filling up with air while calculating your body weight. Once it's calculated, we decrease the weight percentage to a desired amount, let the patient begin walking at a comfortable pace. We can also let them perform standing exercises as well, so it doesn't apply so much pressure with their body weight. As you can see, there is a TV up here as well that's connected to a camera somewhere inside of here, and this displays and shows the patient's feet and their legs as they're walking, to make sure they're remaining in a straight line, landing heel to toe, and just performing a correct stride. Another cool thing is the HydroTrack water therapy tank. So this is a tank that we fill with water, usually around 98 to 101 degrees Fahrenheit. It also has jets to circulate this water and to provide a little massage sensation. It's designed to allow patients to walk at a desired speed and perform standing and seated exercises, because you have a little bench right here in the water. This is somewhat similar to the Ultra G that I just showed you, but of course it's just with water. This provides a water resistance to exercises and can be used for a variety of physical health issues. Little tip, it may seem like you're not doing much, but you really are, because of the water resistance. So this could lead to soreness, which is normal. It's very normal. Some little alternatives for it: if you have a pool, neighborhood pool, a friend pool, you can do the exercise in here. If you have a big enough bathtub, could also perform in your bathtubs at home. The Biodex multi-joint movement system. What this is you can see a patient would sit right here, they would place their leg in here, and what it does is it's a machine used to calculate a certain resistance, or to apply to the patient, or a passive range of motion. This usually depends on the patient comfort. This is designed to either allow the patient to relax and stretch them with an easy passive motion, or to regain strength. This helps keep track of the patient's progression as well, to see how far it can bend back and how far it can bend outward. We set the machine with a starting range of motion, like I was stating, forward and towards. As time passes, we increase the range of the patient's desire of stretch. This machine is mainly used for injuries to the knee or after knee surgery. Alternatives would be a partner stretch, just allowing somebody to stretch it themselves and allowing you to relax. This is our traction machine. I kind of missed the little computer screen up here, but theoretically what this is the patient will lay on this bed right here, and they lay their neck into this harness, and what we do is we calculate a range of pull on this computer, and the pull will gradually increase. It will soon reach a maximum pull, and then it will gradually decrease again over a set period of time. It's designed for particular patients who are having pain issues in the head, neck, shoulder, and trap region. The cupping therapy and massaging tool set. So of course, this is your cupping set, and this is our massaging tool set. The cupping set is designed to perform suction of the skin to a certain area of the body with a lotion. This helps to relieve pain and inflammation to an area, increase the blood flow, and give a relaxing deep tissue massage. Results in bruises of the skin, which is normal. And then this little massaging tool set, it allows for our therapist here to give a massage as they would with their hands, but it allows them to do it more efficiently and better, in our opinion. They're made in various shapes and sizes to give us options to work on various parts of the body. An alternative, both of these can actually be purchased online. They can be found at a Walmart and so forth. So now this is one of our hot spots. This is the electromagnetic stimulation therapy. This is usually the last thing we get to our patients at the end of their therapy, while some may start with it. This is given to our patients to give them pain relief in certain areas where they are dealing with pain. Most of our patients has classified this as the best part or the good stuff because of the pain relief they receive from it. The way this works is we plug these pads, they could be either 2 to 3 inches in diameter, into a machine through wires. They're connected through right here. The size we use depends on the area we are assessing, so 3 inches would be used for areas of the back and on shoulder and neck areas where you would use the 2-inch. We place the pads in the area where the patient feels pain and cover the area with ice or heat. This is usually patient preference, whichever one they like better. Using the machine above, we turn the intensity of the electromagnetic stimulation to where it's strong and comfortable to the patient. The stimulation almost feels like a tingly but soothing massage sensation that reduces pain in the muscle tissue. Alternatives, you are able to actually purchase these online in handheld forms. I personally have one myself, used it all throughout college whenever I played baseball. Now we have the ultrasound with BioFreeze. This device is used to spread BioFreeze lotion with a wand to the area of a patient that's having pain. The wand supplies a soothing amount of heat, which is an intensity that depends on, of course, the area that's being addressed. So the heat allows for a deeper penetration into the muscle to help alleviate pain and discomfort. We turn the machine on and turn it to the desired heat intensity. When applying the lotion, we perform in a circular motion and keep the wand moving. That way we avoid burning the patient or overheating a certain area. This is usually done for a span of about 7 minutes. This can be applied to anywhere to the body or muscle group where someone is having pain. Alternatives, I don't know. I'd say that they can be bought at local stores. But and I'm not talking about the ultrasound, I'm talking about the BioFreeze. But we also sell BioFreeze here as well if anybody ever wanted some. This was pretty cool to me. I got to witness this my very first day here working at Bass. But this is dry needling. This is a friend of mine who came in who was having hamstring trouble, and I asked him if I could take this picture, and he said, of course, I could use the picture. This type of therapy is usually done by Miss Whitney alone and can be done to almost any area of the body. She inserts dry needles deep into the muscle tissue where the patient's having pain. She then leaves once she finds those trigger points where the pain is, she leaves that needle in there and then connects a handheld electrostimulator. You can see the wires coming from it that sends small shocks deep into that muscle tissue through the needles. After a few minutes, she stops the treatment by turning off the stem and removing the needles from the area. Some insights, we have heard that it relieves great pain in the area and there's little to no discomfort. Ice packs and hot packs, these are usually used before or after. Heat is used to relieve pain or swelling to an area and to warm up or loosen the area we are about to exercise. Ice is used for pain and swelling as well, but it's used as a cool down method for when our patients complete their therapy. Both are made in cervical, slim, or the lumbar designs, this big thick one right here, so they can be applied to anywhere on the body. Alternative for ice, you got bag of peas, bag of ice, of course, and then for your heat, you can buy a heating pads from online store or at your local store. So we also have these fantastic exercise cards. What we do is whenever patients ask about what they could do at home or what stretches they could do, we have this little box full of stretches. You got knee, spine, trunk stability, shoulder, all parts of the limbs. We allow the patients to take these exercises home and complete them for at-home therapy. What we will do is we'll take one out, make copies of them, and send them on the way. And this is to, of course, promote the continuation of therapy at home on their own. And now, just a little addition. When me and Miss Whitney were not serving physical therapy to patients, we were getting our own physical activity, playing even in softball together. She asked me at the beginning whenever I started if I would like to go out there and play with them, and of course I love playing sports, so couldn't help but say yes. And let me say, Miss Whitney, She is a great and fantastic physical therapist, but let me tell you, she is very competitive on that softball field. She loves to win. She loves to play softball. And as you can see, yes, we were pumped up about this one because we did win this ball game. Just a very fun experience. It helped me get to know a lot more people and get out in the community and meet people. So this right here is one of my patients that I work with. I'm not going to state his name just for personal purposes, but this patient holds a very special place in my heart. I got the privilege to work with him throughout my whole entire time here. Just a little background: he had an accident that caused him to be rendered in a wheelchair, but he is also able to perform certain tasks. He's able to walk some when supported, and all around, this is the most genuine and sweetest guy I know. And to give a little insight of this person, one day I was in here giving a treatment to him, and him and his wife were both in here, still married. And he looked up at his wife and he said, "Honey, thank you so much for being here and supporting me. I love you so much. I'm the luckiest man in the world." And his wife looked back at him and she said, "I love you so much too, sweetheart, and I'll never leave you." And it really touched me to hear that, because seeing the tragedy that he has been through, seeing that kind of love still together between a couple, I just strive to have that love and to strive to express that love to the world. So he was just a big part of my internship here. Great times with him. He calls me his best friend. He calls me his buddy. And I promise you, he will let you know that he loves you, because he loves everybody, and he is just a great and genuine guy. So that's the end of my slideshow, but I figured what better way to get to know Bass than to give you a tour. So I'm gonna give you a little tour of Bass Rehab. We'll come up here and we'll come up to the front real quick. There's a little bit of the light shut off. I'm the only one here giving this little presentation. Everybody had afternoon Friday plans. But as you can see, this is the main office right here. This is where everybody comes in to get checked in. And of course, this is the main lobby. This is the entrance where people come in and wait for us. So whenever I'm ready to call somebody back, I come in here and I walk them back through here. We come through this hallway. Again, sorry about the lights, but we come through this hallway. We have bathrooms right here, sink, and all sorts of stuff. And then we walk back here, and this is the area. So over here is our occupational therapy tables. This is where our patients are able to get one-on-one hand work, mainly used for injuries to the hand, forearm area, upper arm maybe. But this is a great use. See, we got the ultrasound right here, able to use it for handheld. We got this right here is the OT side tables. So this is where most of our occupational therapists are going to be, and our occupational patients use these beds. This right here is kind of a mixture. Both PT and OT can use these beds. We use, for about every patient, we have what's called a little bolster. Slide these up on our patients, allow them to relax a little bit more. This right here is what we call the rotary hip machine. This allows for many different exercises to do with the legs, work the hips, and so forth. This right here is what we call our back extension machine. This is for patients who may have lower back pain or may be slouched, and we're trying to work them to get straightened up. Use that. Right here, with all of our equipment, we have 3 different kinds of bikes. This one is classified as an elliptical. This bike is going to provide you resistance, and this smaller bike down here, it doesn't give you any resistance at all. This right here is where we usually sit, chit chat, do paperwork, so forth. This right here is our shuttle. Our shuttle has bands on it. We add bands as patients progress through their therapy, whenever they're getting stronger. Okay, so the Biodex. This right here on the presentation I was talking about earlier, what we do is we have to set up the machine, let it calculate, let it run through some certain diagnostics, and then we manually pull this up to find a forward and then manually push it back towards where the patient would be to find the towards range. Once we set that range, we get the patient in the seat, strap them in. The bottom of their foot will be about right here, and then once we get them strapped in and locked in, we just hit the start button and we set a timer. And like I said, I'll sit and show you. This machine would take the patient's leg and it just fully extends it, and then it'll fully bring it back. And it's just a passive motion. This is not them working it. It is this machine working it. And like I said, we'll come over here, turn up the range of motion as needed, because sometimes the patients won't feel the stretch anymore and they want a little bit more stretch. These are our stairs. So of course, as you can tell, they're stairs. Can use them for various things. Can walk them up, walk them down. We also have this little incline board. We use it for almost all of our patients, but do little stretches on the board, stretches on the stairs, stuff like that. And now I talked about it on the PowerPoint, so why not show you how it works? So before we get our patients into the Ultra G, we have to put on specific shorts for them. But of course, I'm not going to put them on because it'll take too long. But we get the patients to step into the treadmill, and that's all they need to do, because after that, we will raise this up, lock it in place. I usually put it about towards the hip area because it's going to lift you up. And then as you can see, there's a clear spot so we can assess and watch how the patients walk. And then as you can see on this TV right here, you see my feet. This allows me to make sure I'm standing and walking heel to toe and make sure that I'm walking the correct way. So that's our Ultra G. This right here, I still got my TV and stuff set up over here, but this is our PT side. This is where we do most of our physical therapy stuff. This right here is our hot packs. You got the hot pads, and then big old cooler full of hot packs. This I think is about 100 degrees as well. This right here is what we call the bars, as you can tell, name implies. This allows for gait training, allows us to come in here and let the patient walk and maybe try not to use their hands, but it allows them to catch themselves and practice working on their own. We got another Biodex machine. This is also a multi-joint movement system. Of course, you can get on here, you can sit backwards or you can face forwards, and you can use this bar to pull it back, this one to pull it down. If you were, for instance, facing this way, if this bar was a little bit more here, you could use it as press. This right here we can use for legs as well. So the very last thing that I want to show you is the HydroTrack. The HydroTrack, of course, I shown you it on the PowerPoint, but I think you'll think it's pretty cool. So this right here is our HydroTrack. I don't know the amount of gallons that it holds, but I do know it takes a pretty good while to fill up. And no, I'm not going to fill it up on here because of the time. But I will show you how we get patients in and out safely and securely. This lever will pull up, and this door slides in. So then once the patient steps in, we close the door behind them. The door's a little stuck sometimes, but we'll close the door behind them and close this lever. After that, we pull down this lever, pull it down this way, and water will then rise up from up under our patients. They'll rise in from up under our patients, and once the water gets even, because the water will start out right here, once it gets to about even with the water that's in this tank, we will then open this door and allow the patient to walk into the actual bath. Close it back and cut it on. Now I'm going to step back out and show you the controls on the HydroTrack. and these little controls right here. So once we get the patient in here, we ask them to sit down. The Foyer pump is what pumps the water that wasn't here back into the tank for the patient. This right here is our Whirlpool jets. Cut those on, gives the patient a little massage sensation. Of course, that's to turn it on and off. And then this is our treadmill. Our treadmill can either go forward or backwards, and also we can stop it and we can turn it up to however speed we want to. So that's our hydro track. So in all, this has been a very great experience here at Bass. As you can see, we have a very wide open space where we can hold many patients at one time. There's never a day where we don't have 5 to 10 patients in here at one time. I wouldn't have chose anywhere else to do my internship. This has been a great experience for me. I've loved every single bit of it, and I couldn't thank Miss Whitney enough for the opportunity she has given me and the challenges she has given me. So that was my internship here at Bass Rehab.